Welcome to the Fan Caste, where we the fans talk back to world-class bullshitters and tell us our own stories and thoughts and things. Tonight is episode 14. Fuck.
God damn it.
Episode
Think
15.
so.
I'm not cutting, let's just keep going. So on the phone we have Mr. Kendo Slice.
What's up?
All right. And from New York, we have Liquid Metal Pro.
Buenos dias, mein Führer.
And with us tonight, joining as a special guest, Eddie Cantillo.
Hi, I'm Eddie, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi ho.
Alrighty. So, how's everybody? How's Mama and them?
Oh, I'm
Fine.
still alive for some reason.
Y'all
That's the thing.
listening? Is this thing on? Y'all hear me okay?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so
I'm fine. Proceed.
high five. I know, you're in your ninth beer. So, this
That
past
part
week
alive.
we had all kinds of stuff. Let's just get started with, well, first of all, has anybody got any news that wasn't covered? Other than the ecosexuals that LMP is enamored with?
I have some
God, I
news.
never thought that was
that-
a thing.
Since there's only a few people that are listening, you can consider yourselves a special little group. Loudy's girlfriend is pregnant.
Uh-oh.
So, there you go.
Congrats, Loudy.
That's crappy news. Sorry to hear that, Loudie. Wow, and I had lunch with him today. He never said anything.
Yeah, the quiet ones you always have to watch, dude. One of my best friends from back home, his wife, I'd known her since we were in kindergarten. This was like 5 years ago. And me and him had been best friends since college, and they had been married, or not married. They were like 7 months into their pregnancy with twins, and I had no idea. And then he told us one day, he's like, "By the way, Kim's gonna have a baby or have twins in 2 months." It's like, what the fuck? You're just now waiting to tell us? So I mean, there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, what a dick of a friend. I don't speak to him anymore since 3:00 this afternoon.
Wow.
So that was the last time he messaged me, and I messaged him back.
All right.
You know, I'm looking at my Entertainment Weekly, and I see the new Star Trek.
Yeah, so, there's something. We can talk about STD if you want. So Star Trek Discovery.
Avoid him at all costs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Right,
I think
saw
my
a
mom wants to
trailer.
watch it because she likes Star Trek.
Yeah. I saw a trailer for this a while back. And, of course, they said this was going to be on, was it CBS, I think? CBS All
Yeah,
Access.
CBS.
And I made comments like, it looks like horse crap and it looks horrible and who's going to watch it on CBS All Access anyway. And people were flaming my butt one side up and down the other about how it's going to be on CBS and CBS Access and blah. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, blah, blah, blah. And
Brian's
sure
got a
enough,
flaming ass. That's nothing new.
yeah, but this past week, what did we learn? The first episode will be on CBS, and then it'll be on CBS All Access after that. And
Yeah, not interested.
right, that was an article I posted on the fan page. And it's like, okay, look, you morons, I was right, and it does look like a train wreck. Now, some people like the Orville. I know Jeff said he didn't like it.
I do.
I haven't seen it yet. It's probably one of those. I don't know if it'll appeal to Star Trek fans a little bit more than others. I'd like to see it. I don't have television, so until it comes to Netflix or Amazon, I can't see it. Unless I torrent it, I guess. Could probably find it that way. But I'm about as unexcited for Star Trek Discovery as I was Voyager. Not Voyager, Star Trek Enterprise. Star Trek Voyager, I kind of liked at first, and then it wore off. It wore on me, and then Enterprise. I got tired of the stupid time loop reset nonsense that Berman and Braga love to do, and so by the second season I was done. I was like, this is stupid. They're just going to do whatever they want and hit a button and reset the timeline, and everything will be nice. And this is dumb. You guys don't know what to do. So, I mean, Eddie, you sounds like you have some.
Well, the only Star Trek related thing I've seen is the 2009 reboot to Beyond, and Beyond is the best in my opinion.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But if it's the only one you've ever seen, how can you say it's the best?
No, I mean like the like I've only seen those 3 movies. I haven't seen any other Star Trek item,
okay.
like other franchise.
I mean, I don't really have a dog in the Star Wars fight or Star Trek fight. I'm not a dork. I actually like having relationships with chicks, so I don't watch Star Wars or Star Trek. God damn it! Fuck space movies.
Yeah, but relationships with females are as overrated. Pump 'em and
Not
dump
if
'em.
you. Not.
Hey.
Who are you talking? Look who you're talking to here. My fucking relationship status is usually 24 hours at a time.
Yeah, so, but I know I kid. I have 2 kids and a wife, and blah blah blah. Woe is my life. So
You
we
have a
also
mistress?
have no. Are you kidding?
Why not?
Because I'm a nerdy creep, and women figure that out, and they just push me aside. They use me
Well,
for
you
my
could have-
intellect.
You could have a mistress for a few dollars an hour or whatever it is, and if you're doing it that way, you can have multiple mistresses,
Yeah.
and they will not tell.
I'll have
Sounds like a pretty good deal,
I'll get
actually.
gonorrhea and it'll
It's-
fall off.
Not if you wrap that rascal.
Well, genital
Which, I
warts
mean,
doesn't matter.
I get that also. That kind of takes away the fun, but just
Yeah.
go to like reputable ones that are clean.
Well, hey,
Don't get
Doesn't
get
that-
Starl off the corner.
right. Well, my high school reunion next year's in Vegas, so who knows?
There you go. I'll go with
High
you.
school reunion, Vegas.
Yep.
Cool.
Well, we have them all over the country. I graduated in a foreign country, so we can't all go to Germany to have a high school reunion.
When you celebrate your diamond year reunion anniversary thing, you got to do something big and out there. So Vegas it is.
What's diamond? 50?
I think it's 75, maybe 50.
I'm still alive then. So thanks to Eddie, we also have we have a chance to talk about my absolute favorite subject in the world. Does anyone know what that is?
Gay porn.
No.
Weightlifting. Oh, Gal Gadot.
Yeah, there you go. Wonder Woman confirmed to
Six
be
plus
in
six.
Flashpoint, where they reset. I think aren't they using Flashpoint to basically reset the DCEU?
I would hope so. Because I don't want to hate DC. I really don't.
So, but is Gal gonna play her, or are they gonna reset her with an actress?
No, it's probably gonna be Gal. I think 99.99% is gonna be Gal.
So
I'm okay with that.
Could be worse.
Oh. I like looking at her.
Yeah, she's fine to look at.
oh yeah, she's pretty, but that's she's just from the neck up.
We'll just leave it right there.
Well, that's all you need to blast her in the face, right?
Well, I mean, that's not the
Hose her down.
only thing to do, but why not? Sure. We'll go with that.
Absolutely. What?
The electric fence when they build it down there on the southern border when you try to cross it.
Jesus, I already said it, man. Once they start construction on that thing, I'll go myself over there and help build that shit.
Yeah, well, just remember, make sure you're on the south side when it gets finished.
Fuck you.
He is not from Mexico. We have had this discussion. They will say, "Hey, you a fake gringo, get out of here."
That is
Anyway.
true. They will kick my ass back into the United States.
Is there really a difference, though, at this point?
Hey, ese is not from Mexico. Get him out.
Oh God! In New York City, no, there is no difference. It's all basically the same. God,
Being all Mexicans.
they're all beaners. It's
Mexican
ironic.
Americans.
Yeah.
I still, that is still one of the best things I've ever seen. Cheech and Chong, awesome.
Yeah.
I've
That
heard
was
of
one of the
never
best
seen-
pairings. Who was it that asked that question, Kendo? Do you remember?
I don't remember who asked it, but I know I'm the one that answered it with Cheech and Chong.
Yeah. There were a bunch of them. You guys went through quite a few.
Mexican Americans love education.
Another thing we talked about was the Tomb Raider trailer.
Oh yeah!
And
What, Womb Raider?
so, yeah, I didn't even know there was a trailer out. I got to work and I watched it, and it started out pretty well, I thought. Sorry, I had to take a water.
I
So
think the thing that throws me. I think the thing I don't like is the cliche "you have to save the world" thing.
Well,
That
yeah,
I don't.
Yeah. So
That's the only thing that bothers me.
right up until on the boat when she goes to go out the door and something falls in front of her and like her path is blocked, and I was like, oh my goodness, this looks just like something out of any video game, any cliched video game where you really only have one path, but you aren't going to get killed for making mistakes. And then when she jumps off the boat, I was like, oh my god, and then it just went downhill. And then and I agree with Jeff, oh my gosh, I know it's so crazy. When she jumps off of that airplane wing and goes, ugh, I was like, oh.
No. Here's the thing. Here's the reason why I like that. It actually, it sounds like the grunt she makes in the video game.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I like it, because it's so much like the video game that it's uncanny. But which is a problem I have with the Resident Evil movies. They're nothing like the games, but they do have some characters from the games, but they're not the main focus. The main focus is a made-up character, Alice.
Yeah, I like her. So
that's why I like the trailer, because it's exactly like the game.
Yeah. See, I'm echoing somebody.
God, another game, another movie based on a game. I almost don't even know what to think anymore.
Yeah, I like the Tomb Raider I like the first Tomb Raider movie. The second one, the only thing I liked was when Angelina was on the jet ski.
I bought that, Brian. I bought the 2-pack, the Lara Croft 2-pack. You said you liked the first one?
Yeah. Was the second one when she's on the jet ski?
Yeah. That was like the highlight of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of other things I bought right here, Kendo. I bought Bloodsport.
Good.
I think I've seen that movie. Is that like a karate fighting?
It's a martial arts movie.
Yeah.
It's a martial arts movie starring the greatest martial artist of the 20th century, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
I think you mean Jackie Chan.
I'm sorry. Did I fucking stutter? It's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
It's not Chuck Norris?
Chuck Norris isn't really a martial arts star, though. Like, yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme mostly made martial arts movies with a little bit of action sprinkled in. Look, it's Jean-Claude Van Damme. Just fucking accept it.
I know, but Chuck Norris's early ones were martial arts movies. I mean, he won the karate world championship a couple times before he ever did any movies.
Jean-Claude Van Damme won the Kumite.
Yeah.
So that outranks it.
He killed Chuck Norris once.
Exactly. Kumite. Kumite.
I just grew up with
Also, I gotta give Jean-Claude Van Damme credit. That is one man that can do a split and not kill himself.
Yeah, I've looked for that soundtrack, but I've never been able to find it. I don't think they ever made it. Bloodsport.
Oh, that movie? Okay.
I think it's mostly just like house music, essentially.
What a time.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna be reviewing that after Beverly Hills Cop.
Nice.
Well, if you give Bloodsport anything less than a 3.5 stars, I'll show you why Jean-Claude Van Damme taught me karate.
Speaking of Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, you guys ever saw the one that he did called JBCD?
I don't think so.
No.
It's basically when he it was explaining his absence, like what had happened when he went to a trip to Belgium one time, and how he inadvertently found himself in a hostage situation, and how that led to him getting arrested, because he, during the hostage situation, he passes himself off as the leader of the group, which was basically a tactic to kind of like save himself and the life of anybody else in there. And it's pretty much a good watch, and then eventually ends with him getting arrested by the U.S. government for extortion and crap like that, and explains what his mindset was during that situation. It's a pretty interesting movie, and I think it was like a Blockbuster exclusive at the time, because I had the DVD and I never seen or heard of it before. But apparently before Blockbuster closed. What? When you say
Blockbuster exclusive, you mean like the store Blockbuster? Never mind. I was about to say something stupid. Never mind. I'm not going to continue that.
No, it's fine. Well, no, what I meant to say is like at the time, I never heard of this movie, nor was there any advertisements for it. And this was during I have no idea. I have to actually look for the DVD, but it's not in my room right now. I did keep it, but I forgot what year it came out. As far as I know, the only place that had it was like any secondhand retailer and Blockbuster at the time. So I was thinking possibly an exclusive at the time. I don't know if that's still true now, obviously, with digital viewing and everything.
I got a question. How many people does he beat up in that movie?
In that movie?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. That actually was based on real events, like things that happen in real life. He even says
that's not the question that I asked.
Okay. Well, you want to know? I don't even think he beats up. Let's see. I know he beats up one of the guards at one point.
So he
probably like two.
Really? Then why are you even bringing this up? Unless he is massacring hordes with his bare fists. It's not a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Oh, this is what happens when the legal system fucks a guy. So that's essentially what his story was about.
What do you think of Time Cop?
It's a fun watch. I mean,
that's okay.
I'm just saying. I'm just asking the guy who likes Jean-Claude Van Damme because I only got one of his movies, and that's Bloodsport. That's because I saw it in a 4-pack with Rumble in the Bronx.
You know what? That wasn't a bad movie either.
Yeah, it was okay.
Like that.
Anyway, back to what we're actually supposed to be talking about.
Yeah.
Brian.
Well, we were talking about Tomb Raider.
Oh, yeah, that movie's going to suck.
Yeah, it's
there you
going to blow goats, not in a good way.
Ooh, goat blowing.
Will they do that in some part of the world?
Yes.
Yeah, it's called Arabia.
It's called England.
They don't blow goats in England.
They do in Scotland.
That's not England. Scotland and England are two different countries.
Yeah, so they want to pretend.
I guess
if there was one redeeming factor about well, aside from it looks a lot like the video game, here's another redeeming factor. At least they didn't get Daisy Ridley like everyone wanted. Everyone's bitching like, oh, they should have gotten Daisy Ridley. No, she can't act.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything.
I am literally speechless.
Yeah, same here. I'm done.
Yeah, oh well. Well, I think Kendo and I were talking about this before anybody else got on. She's not been in anything since episode 7. She's going to be in...
That's not true. She's about... in November, she's already filmed it. I think the film's complete. November is the Poirot movie. My mom likes Poirot. It's Murder on the Express train thing.
Orient Express?
Murder on the Orient Express, yes. And that was the other half of the sentence that you didn't let me finish on. So that's been it. Now she's going to be in some stuff post episode 8. Yeah, unlike John Boyega, who's been in several other things. So yeah, she's not a hot commodity like she ought to be because Star Wars. Ermagerd Star Wars, as Kenny likes to say.
Those people are fucking stupid.
Yeah, they are. There's just... I'm tired of mincing words and being polite. You know,
those are
go ahead.
Things that...
Tell us how you really feel.
That stuff does not even fall within my lexicon.
Yeah. It follows in my lexicon.
It's like,
I believe in speaking truth.
Air never makes it to your brain.
I believe in speaking truth, but I also believe in kindness.
Yeah, I do to a point, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a point where kindness does exist in my world, but not very much. Kill them all.
I'm not quite to that level, but yeah.
Anyway, fuck Star Wars. Star Wars sucks.
So if I click on the right thing, I can go back to my list. So next, what we also has been announced, I can't remember if there was a date given or not. John Wick Chapter 3.
Yes!
Awesome.
Yes!
Still haven't watched it. Fuck.
God damn it. You disappoint me again.
Don't worry. Don't worry, Liquid Metal. Here's what I like to do. They've announced the third part. I have the first movie. I'm gonna get the second. Then when the third one comes out, the 2 days before, I'm gonna watch 1 and 2, and then I'll go into free in theaters the day it comes out.
So you're gonna buy it. You've got a movie you haven't watched yet. It's one of the best movies out there. You're going to go and spend $20 on another movie Blu-ray that you were not going to watch for a year and a half.
Well, duh. Yep. I know it sounds silly, but I schedule what I watch.
What are you, an 85-year-old man?
Whatever, I guess. I mean, I did say I was going to get the movies at some point, and that's not like off my list. That is really still on my to-do list, if not, if anything, at the top of it. Mostly because of how great everybody tells me, and I feel out of the loop.
They are awesome.
Exactly. Like, first of all, I like Keanu Reeves. Mostly everything that he's done.
I haven't seen.
He's been
I haven't
entertaining.
seen an awesome Keanu Reeves movie since the second Matrix movie.
Well, maybe that's because you haven't watched that John Wick you've had just sitting in a wrapper for God knows how long, Phil. Go watch John Wick.
There goes the tumbleweed.
You know what? You'll be happy when I see Bloodsport first.
Maybe, but I've already seen Bloodsport a gazillion times.
I haven't. That's the thing.
Well, I look forward to the review. I don't know about anybody else.
John Wick 2 will come out on Let me try this again. John Wick 2 will come out in May of 2019.
You mean free?
Well, actually, there was one thing I did want to say.
The third John Wick.
All right, John Wick. But there was actually, what I was trying to do is I actually wanted to buy the Steelbook edition that Best Buy sold for both 1 and 2, and apparently it's still available online.
How much is it?
So that's really one of the things that's been kind of holding me off. That I don't want to just buy just a regular version of the DVD. I want to. It looked really cool
about the Steelbook version, because I know people that do that. They buy the Steelbook, and I don't understand what's so special.
It's a Steelbook. I mean, Steelbooks are just cool.
Do you have like a bunch of magnets on your wall that you hang them on? Then what's the point? Oh, I don't have a DVD case. I've got all these fucking magnets on the wall, and here's my Steelbook collection.
Well, apparently there's additional stuff and whatnot in it, obviously. So you want to check out the extra stuff.
I have Deadpool on a Steelbook.
I'm not one of those people that has to watch every fucking commentary and deleted scene to be happy with the product.
I do sometimes.
Of course, but
there's a few things I've done.
I like collecting them.
But for the most part, I'm just like, I don't really need to know what was going on in this actor's mind when he was trying to psych himself up for this scene because the guy makes $25 million. Fuck him. Dance for me, monkey. Make a good movie.
Yeah, what's my motivation?
Okay.
A big fat paycheck.
I was trying to really get into character for the scene, so I was thinking about some sad stuff because I got to pretend to be sad. Be like, fuck you. You just got a huge paycheck. You got nothing to be sad about. What are you thinking about? Oh, yeah, my bank account dipped below $30 million yesterday. I'm sad.
Oh, man, his girlfriend and wife and sister died at some point. I remember that, hearing about that all the time.
He still has a lot of money.
He's a very kind guy, too, apparently. You ever guys saw the video he gives off his seat to an elderly woman or something like that?
I'm not talking about Keanu Reeves in general. I like him. I'm not talking about him.
Talking about...
I'm just talking about dickhead thespians in general.
Just talking about
Shaft. Yeah, go ahead. Tear him a new one.
I was going to say, I like Keanu. I've always been a fan of Keanu Reeves. Ever since I saw him in Parenthood. Well, Bill and Ted technically first, but the Parenthood movie came out about the same time.
Oh, yeah.
God, that was a great movie.
Yes, it was. All right, so yeah, John Wick 3 comes out on May 17th of 2019. If the tickets were going on sale right now, I would already have a pair for me and Father Slice, but I don't think they sell them this far out in advance. Moving on.
Yep.
Moving on up.
By the way, John Wick 1 and 2 are fantastic movies. Easily 4.5, 5 stars each. I think I would probably give the one 5 and the second one like 4.9, just because I can't give it 5 because I like the first one personally better than the second.
Gotcha.
Well, they're in my DVD queue. I haven't seen them yet. So.
You guys suck at life. Moving on.
Well, finding the time. I've had a Deadpool movie here for 2 weeks.
Hey,
3 weeks. Holy crap! It's been here since the first. All right.
On my Letterboxd account, it says I have seen 1,419 or 20 movies.
Yeah, well, we know how you watch movies, so that's how you can accumulate so many so
Oh
quick.
my god! Stop saying that.
It's easier to YouTube them, Eddie. It's easier to just YouTube them and watch what somebody else has to say about it.
That's. I used to rip them off of when I was still on Windows. I used to rip them and then play them at 1.5 speed. So another movie that's been announced, and I can't believe they're making yet another one of these freaking things. And I'm with Kendo. It stopped with 2, and that's Terminator 69 is coming out, is being made with the ancient one, Linda Hamilton, and Arnold,
Governor
and
Schwarzenegger.
whomever else. I really liked it when I forget who started it. Maybe it was Kendo that started the cross between Terminator and Avatar, and that Terminator's looking for the unobtainium, whatever, that makes them age faster and stuff. Because you're supposed to be robots, so why is he going to look like an old man? I saw the third one. I didn't like the third one. I thought it was trying to do too many callbacks to 2, and without Linda, her character to me that was a very cheap thing to just kind of kill her off between movies.
Good old Slamilton Hamilton.
And to me, 2 was good, was the best one. The first one was a bit of a cult classic. I mean, low budget. Arnold, when he was really terrible at acting, and as opposed to just terrible. And to me, it was a good closure. You had possibility, right? The future isn't written in stone. It's not. I mean, I'm starting like I'm quoting Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
You been drinking again there, bud?
No.
You know, philosophical on us?
No. Oh, no.
Please do.
I don't. You know what? When I do that, it is amazing how often it's not verbal. I have to completely shut off it's just my brain and my fingers, and I type that stuff, and it is amazing how quickly it just flows out. I actually type faster that way than when I'm doing any other typing, and it's like I'm in a trance almost, and then I'm like, someone will say, "Hey, I liked your post," and I have no idea what they're talking about, and I go back and look. Oh wow. So
I play Alien Probing.
it might be. It says anal probes at 3:00 in the morning. That's what's doing it.
I'll do it.
I'm not interested in Avatar 2, and I actually liked the first Avatar.
Yeah, I did.
I liked Avatar the first time I saw it in 1992. It was called Dances with Wolves.
Blue.
I enjoyed that.
I never made that connection. That's so true.
With Kevin Costco.
His name's Kevin Costner. You will respect him, except for in The Postman and Waterworld.
Waterworld isn't as bad as people want to believe.
No, it's not as bad. Okay, yeah, Waterworld isn't as bad as people say it is, but it's not good. Like, it's not. It gets a lot of shit for being the big of a bomb it is. It gets a lot of shit for that, and it was not a good movie. But at the same time, compared to a lot of other shit that's out there, it's really not that bad. If they would have probably put a little bit more effort into the filming, and maybe like dragged it out a little bit longer and not tried to film it. I don't know how long it took them to film now that I'm thinking about it, but if they would have tried a little bit harder, I think they could have actually made it a really good movie.
Yeah.
And fun fact, that little chick that's got the map on her back or something or another,
Right.
she grows up to become Napoleon Dynamite's girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah. She like, go fuck yourself.
My favorite Kevin Costner movie is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Now that's a bad movie.
Oh, what's the baseball movie? He's Bull Durham.
Oh, Bull Durham. That's that's a good movie.
Now, I knew it wasn't The Natural. That's Robert Redford. That's also another good.
That's
movie.
Robert Redford. Yeah, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I didn't really like that one because it's Robin Hood, but he's speaking like an American. It's just a little odd. I did have the toy though. I had a little Robin Hood Kevin Costner action figure somewhere.
I gave it a 4.5.
Yeah, it's,
God damn it! Really?
It's not a bad movie, but
it's not. It's not
either that or 4. But it's around there.
It's more of a 3. To me, it's more of a 3.25.
Yeah. Because see here, Eddie, here's what happens when you give movies like that 4.5, 5 stars. You were saying that all the movies you've rated below that are worse than those movies. So if you go give a crappy movie like, say, Spider-Man 3 a 5-star rating, everything underneath that is crap compared to Spider-Man 3. Think about that. Oh yeah, he was in Wyatt Earp. He was because they came out Tombstone and Wyatt Earp at the same time. Tombstone was better, but Wyatt Earp was good.
Yeah.
Oh, you also, Kendo, you mentioned in the show Equilibrium. I also saw that in school.
Yes, I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's not a good movie, but I like it.
I wasn't a big fan.
It's probably a good solid 2, but it's fun.
I gave it a 2.5 or a 3.
Anyway, the Terminator and then Avatar. That's a good question. So, Brian, people that are fans of Star Trek are Trekkies, right?
Well,
yes, man.
I can never remember if it's Trekkie or Trekkers because one is actually considered pejorative, but I forget which is which.
We'll find out which one that is.
I believe it's Trekkie.
So Trekkie is pejorative. That's considered an insult.
Yes,
that's good to know. Okay, that's good to know. So if you're a fan of Star Trek,
they do use it as an insult in isn't it Fanboys? You seen that? I like Fan.
Yeah, I did see that.
So they use Trekkie for Star Trek fans. So fans of Avatar be avatards.
Avatardies.
I guess I'm an avatar.
Avatardos. So the Avatardos will go nuts for the blue people on screen.
No, not me. I don't want a sequel.
Well, you're getting 4 of them.
Yeah, I can't imagine what the heck they're gonna. I can't. They're
even supposed to be filming them like back to back to back to back too. So it's like
I know.
It's like we're setting up camp, and none of you fuckers are allowed to leave for about 5 years until we get all this shit filmed.
The second one I heard is supposed to be filmed underwater.
So instead of ripping off of Dance's Wolf, they're going to rip off another costume. Maybe that's what they're going to do. Maybe all the Avatar movies are just going to be rip-offs of Kevin Costner films.
Then have them rip off Prince of Thieves.
So Avatar 2 will be like ripping off Waterworld. Avatar 3 will like rip off Field of Dreams. So like the blue bitch is like standing around and she hears this whisper, if you harvest it or if you mine it, they won't come. And he's like, oh my God, if I mine the unobtainium, they won't come here. But then the fucking baseball players show up out of the cornfield anyway. Or her blue relatives show up out of the jungle and they start like tinking away at the unobtainium. And it's like, oh my God, we got to go find Moonlight Graham.
Oh God.
So then 4 would it be like JFK?
So they were the ones in on it?
Yeah, so they're trying to figure out who assassinated whatever leader of the blue people.
Right.
Back into the left, and then Newman shows up.
But only one person gets prosecuted.
Slides right.
Yeah, and then the fifth one, I don't know what they would rip that off of.
Did you do Bull Durham? Yeah. Well, you did.
No.
You did Field of Dreams.
We did a Field of Dreams. They'll rip off both of them at the same time. So then I guess the 5th one that they would rip off would just be like The Postman or Wyatt Earp. Avatar 5, Wild Wild West edition, starring not Wyatt Earp.
You know what I really
starring the Fresh Prince as Wyatt Earp.
Oh, yeah. Will
because
Smith
diversity.
Wyatt Blue Earp.
Well, who cares? It's Will Smith. Will Smith is awesome.
No, he'll still be black.
What I actually consider being like the most retarded and possibly the most funniest thing would be if they did something stupid with that movie franchise, where at some point you have the
they already did. They made the movie.
Oh, exactly. But can you imagine something retarded at some point? And I'm pretty sure they probably would do something like this, where they'll probably introduce like a new group of colored people, colored cat people.
Colored people.
Except they actually are.
Maybe
so they'll be red, and they'll be the green race.
They're supposed to be called African Americans or Avatar Americans.
No, they'll have a red and a green, a yellow, but we'll have a rainbow. They'll all line up into the new flag. Yeah.
Some of them will be gay.
Some will be ambiguous.
Some of them wear explosive
none of them will be binary gendered though. It'll all be
Still think they're going to
fluid.
be wearing explosive
That
flowers.
all makes sense. Binary.
Yeah. Or try.
Cucks.
Pansexual. The
Yeah.
green people are all pansexuals. They'll fuck anything.
Including the trees.
That's right.
Damn
It's
it, he
living.
beat me to it.
It's living.
So it'll be like the Evil Dead.
No, that's the opposite.
They just eat
Yeah.
everything.
The trees fuck you in the Evil Dead. These people actually fuck the trees. It's different. It's very different.
Yeah.
Not how like loggers fuck the trees.
Ecosexuals. Ecosexuals.
Sexuals.
Oh. But if you say the words right, everything goes back to normal.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'll say the
No
words
place
wrong.
like home.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hail to the king.
Give me some sugar, baby.
I love Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah, well, why don't he show up in Avatar? Just start blowing stuff up.
Because he actually probably respects himself.
Yeah, no, it would be cool if Ash just came up and he'd be like, "Yo, she bitch." Bam!
Well,
Probably
what?
think there's like some new.
I
Deadites
see. I
or
wouldn't
something.
like that crossover because it would cause two problems. Number one, it would inject somebody I enjoy as an actor, Bruce Campbell, into a movie franchise I do not like. Then the other problem is I would be conflicted as to whether or not to see it. And then the worst problem is it would take a bunch of avatardos and make them think that they should go watch the Evil Dead movies now, and then they'll act like the biggest fans ever.
Wait, Kendall. What
Such
if we get a little bit of a compromise here? What if he thinks they're Deadites and just starts slaughtering them?
Well, that's a lot like the crossover we were talking about, the Terminator Avatar crossover.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
And
heard that.
I
That was
wanna
great.
see-
I was in favor of that idea of Arnold just showing up and being like "Hasta la vista, Azuli," and just starts blowing away all those fucking whatever the hell they were called.
Speaking of Bruce
I'd be
Campbell,
okay
did you see the
Pitch that
movie?
idea to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What movie he was in where they had the god of
Army of
bean curd?
Army of Darkness. Army of Darkness. I'm just gonna keep answering Army of
No,
Darkness.
it's not Army of Darkness, and it's not Weekend at Bernie's 2 either.
Oh,
Wait, he
damn
was
it!
in
Thought
Weekend
that
at
was-
Bernie's?
Yes, he was in both of them. You should go watch those. I'm going to look. Bruce Campbell. I've probably seen it because I've seen just about everything Bruce Campbell has done because he is one of my spirit animals.
I've only seen 6 of his movies.
Bean
The hell
curd.
was the
I'm not
name?
sure what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of that stinking movie. But it's this Chinese. He's like he is like a demon and a god at the same time. And I thought they were making this up, and I went and looked it up, and sure enough, it was true that's what. Because one kid
You're not thinking of
dropped-
Bubba Hotep, are you?
Is it Bubba Hotep?
Did he play Elvis?
It'd be funny if he did.
No,
No, he did play Elvis in Bubba Hotep.
no, that's not it. And then in this movie, they filmed it on where he lives, his ranch or out in his woods or whatever.
Is that the one that's like My Name is Bruce Campbell and it's just like a faux biography of him or something like that?
It might be. Because there's this Chinese god that's killing people, and one kid is about to get killed, but he sees that he has soybeans. And
I'm pretty sure that's the one. My name's Bruce Campbell because like there's these two kids that are like huge fans of his and like
Right,
they fucking find him somehow or some shit like that.
right. Yeah, my name is Bruce.
Yeah, but yeah, no, Bubba Hotep's a good one too. Bruce Campbell and Ossie Davis are in that one. Bruce Campbell plays Elvis Presley, or at least the guy that claims to be Elvis Presley, and Ossie Davis plays a guy that claims to be John F. Kennedy. And for those of you that do not know who Ossie Davis is, he is no longer with us, and he was an African American actor that played in lots of movies. He was the bait shop guy in the Grumpy Old Men movies. So him playing John F. Kennedy and saying, "I am John F. Kennedy," is kind of humorous.
Kinda is.
And anyway, so like this fucking mummy called Bubba Hotep comes back and starts terrorizing the nursing home and shit, and it's up to them to stop it. It's fun. It's definitely a cult movie for sure.
Yeah.
Right, that goes on the list now.
See,
Bruce
that-
Campbell-
It's been on my list for a
Can't go
while.
wrong.
yeah.
But first, I gotta watch the other Mummy.
But the original or the Tom Cruise mummy?
No, I've already seen the Tom Cruise one. I mean the Brendan Fraser one and the
okay.
original. Which
Oh, okay.
I'm not excited for the Brendan Fraser one.
You know what you should do? Instead of watching movies on a schedule, like some kind of stuck up fucking Mormon, what you should do is probably just go watch movies that you want to watch.
Yeah, I have to. I'm just gonna keep going with my preface.
Is that like a game face?
No, a preface is something that's in my book.
You mean a preface?
Are you talking about that
Yes,
fucking?
preface.
Are you talking about that how to like critique movies book thing that we told you to throw away?
Yes.
No, Nick told him to throw it away.
Well, everybody
Frank.
told him to throw it away.
No, Frank told me to throw it away.
Okay,
Frank.
you know what?
Oh yeah, that's right. It was Frank.
Moving
No,
on.
let me read you the exact words. Let me read you
No,
the
because
exact-
we will get a copyright strike. Brian, continue.
Yeah, don't read the
Okay.
book, Al. All right. So are we done with whatever the hell we were talking about? The Terminator.
Yeah, none of us care about Avatar though,
and Terminator. So,
and Terminator 78.
and here's another movie that I don't even give a crap is never made, and somehow I missed the Batman '89 hubbub, but that is a Joker origin movie that's
Terrible
that's
idea.
outside of the DCU. So no Jared Leto Joker, but also not in line with what we've already seen. So not even an anthology movie, just a standalone.
Here's the thing about that. When I heard when they were explaining what it would be about, what his origins would be, how he was bullied as a child, the first thing that came to my head was the Child's Play 2 novel for the second Chucky movie that wasn't added in the movie. It was Chucky's backstory, and it sounded similar right when you said that Joker was bullied as a child, because Chucky's origin, he was bullied, and his mom was verbally abusive, and his dad was a drunk.
Oh, if I had a fucking douchebag kid like that, I would be drunk and abusive to my child as well.
Yeah, it's one thing to have an origin. I mean, I think if you have an origin thing, I actually liked in Batman '89 that they kind of Batman and the Joker were intertwined, because that is one of his biggest nemesis, and they're both very smart, and then they're trying to go against each other, having this grill faced punk gang leader wannabe that we get in Suicide Squad is to me too out of character. He's a psychotic killer. He does incredibly psychotic things, and I don't mind necessarily an origin that's kind of blends to the movies. And I like that it was he that killed Bruce Wayne's parents, and then when Batman shows up and dumps him in the vat, that's what creates the Joker and all that. So I actually like that symmetry, but I don't necessarily need an origin, especially not outside of the DCEU. When the DCEU is, I mean, outside of the U.S., it's doing well, I guess, well-ish. I mean, Batman vs Superman brought in almost $900 million, but it cost, like, total was something like $500 million or $600 million. It had a multiple factor of 1.18, which isn't very good. So basically, it made 18%, roughly, which is horrible. Movies want to make a heck of a lot more money than that. They more like going 100 or 150%. And they have bullied, and then to hear the story, bullied as a child and all this other BS. I was like, no, that's not, having him pulling the legs off of beetles and giggling and burning ants, and maybe you can kind of go that way. But to have this kid bullied as a kid, this is starting to sound like a cheap horror movie character at this point.
You calling Chucky cheap?
Yes.
Bullied me as a teenager, and now everybody's in their 30s and everybody's getting killed by the kid that they bullied 15 years before. That's just stupid.
No.
Yeah, it's just yeah.
Besides, it's not realistic. Kids that get bullied these days just show up to school with shotguns.
I didn't.
Well, either that or they commit suicide on Facebook.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
I got bullied once. I just beat the shit out of the kid, and it solved everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't.
It does.
It's to me, it's stupid. on many levels, and then the actual synopsis is even worse.
To me, the only thing that sounds stupid is the synopsis, because it sounds too similar. That to me, I don't mind origins for villains because because the villains are always interesting. What makes them tick? Why are they this way? Those are questions I always ask about a villain. That's why I like villain origins. But to make a movie about that and have it be outside of the DCEU, which is already a pile of gunk, yeah. I'm not sure about this.
This is my
It
problem.
sounds like a dumpster fire already.
It does. This is my biggest problem with the whole Joker origin thing. It's kind of like It's kind of like what they did with the Halloween franchise. If I want to use that example, I remember watching the original Halloween series, and one thing that I really enjoyed was like when they were explaining the backstory of Michael Myers. They basically laid out that the only thing that you ever needed to know about his origin was that this kid was pure evil. There is no reasoning with him. There's no trying to get him to understand what he's doing. He's a lost cause. And then Rob Zombie got into some weird, twisted, pseudo whatever crap he wanted to do. And oh god, but less said about that or better. But again, it was like the whole him trying to go into it too much. And my fear is exactly that they're knowing how DC lately has been with movies, scripts, and everything. They're gonna try to like make Joker out to be this kind of like sympathetic type of child, character that he was bullied as a child, he was abused by his parents. Like we don't need that. I like Joker when he has that mysterious origin, that mysterious backstory. The whole is it true? Like for example. Wouldn't say it's that great of a movie when you watch it a second time around. Look at The Dark Knight. What was like the whole thing with the Joker when he introduced himself to certain characters? He would always come up like explaining, "Oh, do you know how I got these scars?" And after a while, it's like, is he telling the truth or is he lying to us? And we're not talking to like the character on screen. We're talking to the audience. And that mysterious factor behind him just made him more intimidating, made him more threatening, scary, psychotic, whatever you want to call him. And for what it was really great, especially during the first view. And second time around, you kind of already knew it loses effect. They really shouldn't do this. They really shouldn't go out of their way to try to make an origin story for the Joker. I understand it's going to be outside the continuity. I understand they want to do something different, but to an extent, that's fine, I guess. But it's just a waste of time. This isn't a character that needs an origin story. Leave the mysterious. It's like with Han Solo. You don't need to make an origin story for him. Just leave the details in the background. The audience is smart enough to put the pieces together. And if there are some pieces still missing, well, maybe that's for the better. So I just say we don't need this. I liked Batman, the original Batman, the Tim Burton Batman. I had no issues with them doing an origin story because at the end of the movie, he was dead, one, and two, because it was basically the whole him and Bruce relationship. Batman, he essentially created Batman, and Batman essentially created him. So it was this whole battle between good and evil. I just feel disappointed hearing this news, and it's just really like, I think it's just going to wear my fatigue out even more at this point.
Yeah, I agree. It's I don't understand it, why they're even doing it. And if you're going to do it, you've already introduced the Joker and Suicide Squad. So if you're going to do an origin, then it needs to be that Joker, and it needs to be part of your DCEU. But basically, to me, this is what it says. We don't think our an expanded universe, cinematic universe, what do you want to call it? Our movie version of our version of what Marvel's trying to do is good, and we're starting to hedge our bets. So what's next? We already had a Green Lantern movie that was horrible. Maybe some other superhero is sometimes in the Justice League, sometimes not, but they get an origin that's outside of it, and if it does well, they come in. Or in particular, it sounds like they're trying to start to reboot. And I know there's been a lot of speculation that Flashpoint is going to be some kind of reboot where all these people are going to maybe they die and then we get all new actors or whatever. I think the other thing is and I'm seeing more and more things like this on YouTube and other places. The fatigue is really starting to set in, and Marvel has got to wrap up. And superhero movies. I think it was it on one of the main shows that we're talking about superhero movies starting to be. I think it was Nick who brought it up. It's starting to be like westerns. You know, they made all these westerns. I don't know. I heard it or read it somewhere. Yeah. And so we had the spaghetti westerns, right? These westerns, many of them done in Italy, but they were low budget, and there's so many of them that it was a long time before a good western. I mean, in the 80s, especially in the mid 80s, I think Silverado was the only really good western until we get to Young Guns. I mean, that did well. But having a western, maybe one or two at most a year, or one every couple of years, is kind of the way we have them. I mean, when's the last time we had a big budget western? You know, we had
2010.
Well, we had the Ungrateful. What was the Ungrateful 8?
No, the True Grit.
Unforgiven.
True Grit, Unforgiven. Unforgiven, wasn't that a reboot?
No, True Grit was.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, they made Unforgiven?
No, they have. No, it's from 1992. God.
Oh, 1992. I thought you said 2010.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
I was like, I would have been surprised if that happened.
But again, we're not getting one or two a year. And we're getting...
There was also the Lone Ranger and the Magnificent Seven remake.
Yeah, both of them flopped.
Okay.
You know, but we're not getting scores of them. We're not getting lots of them. And right now we're getting, 4 Marvel movies a year and 2 or 3 DC movies a year. And it's just, it's this thing. Now, granted, the other thing that we're having to deal with that, and I think Jeff brought it up too, and it's been discussed, even we've discussed it a few times, how often these movies are targeted at an international, particular Chinese market. They'll have one token character here or there. Whereas before, Hollywood movies did well outside of the U.S., but they didn't target them to do outside the U.S. So we're starting to get more and more movies that don't do well here. We consider them flops, yet overseas they do well. So that's the other side of it. At what point does the American audience not even care, and all of a sudden the premiere's in Hong Kong? It's not in L.A. anymore. It's not in New York. You know, the next Marvel movie and the premiere's in China. You know, I don't know.
I mean, you're probably not that far off because, to use an example, when they did the Warcraft movie, like the interest here in the United States was almost, I wouldn't say non-existent, but there was like no interest for that movie. It didn't do well here. I don't know if I would consider it a flop. I didn't actually look up the numbers, but from what I had heard, when they took it to China, and especially how China has the the viewer censorship laws that they have, like certain things cannot be shown on screen and whatnot, like related to the paranormal. They made the movies in such a way that they could debut it in China, and China was literally what not only saved that movie but actually got it a profit, I believe.
Would you like me to read you the Warcraft box office mojo stuff?
Go ahead. If anything, it helps.
Okay. Domestically here, it made 470,365 domestic. Foreignly, it made 386,311,893. Worldwide, it's 433,677,183. The budget is 160 million.
Okay, so all right, and then double that for the marketing and everything. So essentially, they really needed that foreign market to help out.
Oh yeah, and several movies have been like that. And but like as I brought up with Batman versus Superman, even though it had a big box office overseas, it didn't really save it. That movie had to bring in over $1 billion, and it didn't quite get there. And the rest of them have gone down since then. The Suicide Squad did less. Wonder Woman did more, but it also had a lot of hype, and it had a lot of, if you don't see it, you're a sexist nonsense with it. So to me, it's kind of an odd, unless they can repeat that, it's just an outlier. Because I don't think they can do it in a second Wonder Woman movie, unless they have a big star like Chris Pine leading it. If Gal has to do it on her own, I don't see it working. Even though it's a couple of years off. I mean, they have a couple of years to really build her. It's like, great, get her some acting lessons. But again, Arnold's not a great actor. Stallone's not a great actor. And, they make a lot of money, too, with those movies. So, well, as long as they're action, like Kindergarten Cop and Twins didn't do that well.
Stallone won in a Golden Globe for his performance in Creed. So I'll say that he's a better actor than her.
Maybe. At least in that movie. A lot of times it's the director, too. But that's the thing, too, that I will be seeing an interesting trend if the U.S. market becomes less and less relevant to Hollywood. I mean, it'd be sad if that happened. Because China has their own movie industry. India has their own movie industry. It's like, but we'll see. It's Bollywood. Oh, and the women in Bollywood. Golly day.
A Bollywood version of Ghostbusters or something. They probably got to have something.
Yeah. The women would be a lot better looking, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell yeah.
And there would be random musical singing numbers and dancing.
At least they would make sense in that movie.
I don't know if it would. Sometimes I've watched some movies and that's like, why are they dancing? This isn't, they're all musicals. But, we'll see. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind. So speaking of whatever that monstrosity was last year. So anyone interested in Leslie Jones?
She does an anal. Demon Green wants to fuck her in the butt.
And her apparently anal prowess.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not going to stand in his way. If he wants to give her the old anal probe, more power to you, Dion Green. You're my boy, and I want you to be happy. From giving her anal? Ooh, that's tough.
Oh!
All right.
Oh, God, that face.
Are you looking at the pictures?
No, I'm just. It just it just in my mind. The thought just crossed my mind. I was like, there it goes again.
Having flashbacks, huh?
I'm having flashbacks of a terrible movie.
It's butt sex.
Yeah.
In a Cadillac.
But it's a Cadillac. I'm part of the team. I'm taking one for the team.
Oh,
that sucked to have to watch.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that commentary yet, and I have decided that...
I've listened to the commentary without watching the movie.
I want to listen to the Curse of Chucky commentary.
It's not very long.
You got 10 minutes in and said, screw it.
No, we gave a little...
Wait, what?
We got about 45 minutes to an hour into it before we realized, God, this is just extremely unwatchable. But that'll be coming in October for Schlocktoberfest. It's going to be probably a bonus episode because we're not going to skeet people out of like a full episode or a full commentary. We'll just probably throw that in there randomly one day. This is what happens when we watch a movie that is awful.
Yeah, I don't think it's awful. I mean, what's better, that or Seed?
Here, let me channel
That's
my
like
inner
saying
reality
what-
strength. Why am I not surprised?
Let's say that analogy is like saying what's better, being shot in the neck or shot in the chest. It's both terrible options.
The goal of that movie was to make a better movie than Seed and to make Chucky scary again. I think they succeeded.
They made Chucky look like a fucking.
Oh wait, hold on.
Looked like a tranny.
That's your complaint, that he looks different?
No, he looked horrible, and the dialogue was boring as fuck. It made absolutely no sense. It was a grinding slog of a pace. After 30 minutes, you felt like you'd been watching the movie 6 hours. There was nothing remotely jumpy about the movie. Chucky looked horrible. He looked like post-op Caitlyn Jenner. Let's see, what else was there? It was fucking the focus of the camera was awful. because you're supposed to focus on the foreground and the background looks a little blurry, and then you switch the focus back and forth like that when you're filming a scene with multiple people. You're trying to gauge their views, but instead you've got the entire screen in focus, so it's all too busy and doesn't look right. There's a lot of things wrong with that movie. It was fucking terrible. Direct to DVD. Ask Steven Seagal how good those movies are.
Wasn't Trick or Treat also direct to DVD?
I don't know, never watched it.
It may have been. They may have tried to. I don't know.
Yeah, that was really good.
There are a lot of Disney movies, and I think that's what's going to happen with Star Wars. By the time we get done with Episode 9, it'll just be, hey, did you guys see Episode 10? I saw it in the DVD and the $4 rack at the movie at the rental place. Is it any good? I didn't even know it came out.
For $5 at 7-Eleven.
Right. Yeah. But that's with the purchase of a large Slurpee.
Ooh, Slurpees are good.
Actually, $5 without the purchase of any Slurpee. Bargain bin.
No, free with the purchase of a large Slurpee.
Oh, I wanted to mention something. Brian,
go ahead.
Brian, you said how superhero movies. You brought up the superhero movies going to the Western. I mean, Westerns were a fad once. They made a lot of money back in the day. Then the other fad was sword and sorcery movies in the 80s. Now it's superhero movies.
Yeah. Yeah, early 80s in particular, early to mid 80s. I don't know if Conan the Barbarian sparked that or it just it kind of increased the wave, because I think there's Beastmaster, there is sword and sorcery, there's a whole bunch of them that come out. And the only good one is Conan the Barbarian.
I wish they made more movies like that.
Beastmaster, if you want to see what's her face from Charlie's Angels, topless a lot.
Okay, thank you. I'll add that to Fantasy Month.
The faux redhead. She was in that '70s show. She was the mother in that '70s show.
Beastmaster, the story of Melissa McCarthy's husband.
Or Roseanne Barr. Yeah.
Oh
man.
Because Conan the Destroyer was.
I
awesome.
have both the Conan movies.
It was okay, but it was a PG-13 movie, or PG. That was the problem.
Yeah,
the first one was rated
Yeah,
R.
but it was 80s PG.
Right.
You could get away with more as a PG movie in the 80s.
Yeah. There is.
You want to know a movie I'm gonna try to do for Fantasy Month? Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh wow.
It's not a fantasy movie.
Well, for some reason, I don't know why, but I saw a list and it said sword and sorcery, medieval, fantasy, high fantasy, and that was on this guy's list.
Medieval.
I didn't make it. I'm just saying I saw it there.
It's medieval, so that's why it's not fantasy. It's medieval. Well, I guess it's King Arthur, so you could say it's old school medieval fantasy, if you will.
Either way, it's a great movie.
It is very good, but you got to understand the Cordy humor of the Python group, especially in the 70s. So, because there'll be a lot of things that just makes it weird. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what you think of that. That one's good. Life of Brian is pretty good. Jabberwocky's not bad, but Meaning of Life is a sketch movie, and that's kind of, I found it. There's some funny bits in it. And now for something completely different was their first one, and it really wasn't that good.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the idea of sword and sorcery movies because I like sword fighting.
I bet you do.
Huh? What?
Oh.
I like sword fighting because.
Yes, you do. Isolate that audio.
Because when I was a kid, I always used to play with the lightsabers from Star Wars, and that was one of the most sword fighting movies I used to. The first ones I watched, along with the Mask of Zorro.
Did you get together with some other dudes that were friends of yours and sword fight with them?
Yeah, me and my friend Kevin, we sword fight all the time.
That's awesome.
Like leading a mouse to cheese.
So you and your friend like to sword fight with each other.
Yeah, he still beats me.
I bet he does. I bet he does. Times.
So no, yeah, I like the sword fighting and the high fantasy of it, and I believe, and I like to, and the damsel in distress sort of thing. It's like the underdog story. That's what I like about it.
And the sword fighting.
Yeah, the sword fighting.
Oh my goodness. I don't even think Netflix has Beastmaster. Oh,
No, they don't.
God.
I don't think so.
There were some better pictures of Carol Cleveland. That would be one of our potential BBCs for another time.
Yeah.
Just
No, you wanna know what my favorite one was? Get
A retro-
Dennings.
that'd be a retro throwback, and now for something completely different.
Yeah.
BBC of the bygone era. Carol Cleveland.
Who was the? And it's Tanya Roberts is who I was. She's got a BBC. I think she's artificially enhanced. Who was the
Yeah,
other?
I still hope at least you do see Colt.
Did Carol play Zoot or was that the other lady?
It's really hard to tell because she was in so much of their stuff that
Yeah.
it all just kind of blends together. Like
No,
she was
she was
literally
Zoot. Yeah, she was
in
Zoot.
everything Monty Python did.
Well, wasn't she married to John Cleese for a while, or was that?
I don't
Connie?
remember I don't know if it was or not. No, she was married to some guy named Peter Brett or something like that.
Her nickname is Carol Cleavage, so there you go.
Yeah, I know that. I know her. Yeah, I knew her
Yeah,
name.
Peter Brett.
Yeah, she wasn't married to any of the Pythons. She just fucking worked a lot with them.
Yeah.
She was literally in I think she was in 30 something of the 45 episodes of the Flying Circus. She was in just about all of them, and I'm pretty sure she was in most of the movies.
Yeah, she was definitely in, and now for something completely different. She was in, obviously the Holy Grail.
She was in The Life of Brian.
She was in
And-
34.
yeah.
What is that about? What is that about?
Jesus, but not Jesus.
It's yeah, sort of. Basically, it's set in the time of Christ, and this guy gets confused for being the Messiah, and I'll leave it at that. Born in the stable next door at the same time, and I will say this: if you ever watch that, there is a scene where you get a full Monty of Graham Chapman. So just be
You do?
prepared, and it's more than a flash. It's for
He was
a
a sword
minute.
fighter too.
It was. Because at first it's quick, and then they come back to him, and he stands there and talks to everybody with a full body shot. It's make him go away.
George Harrison's in that movie too.
Who?
George Harrison.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
he's
didn't
in
he
the,
fund? No, he helped fund the Holy Grail.
Yeah, because he was a fan of.
The Holy Grail?
It's like he said.
He-
He helped pay for.
He
it
was a
'cause-
fan of the Flying Circus.
Right. He read the script and said, "I want to see this movie," so he helped him make it.
Yeah, he thought it was a great idea, and then they, when they're going through the bazaar, and the people are just holding shit out trying to sell it to him. He's one of those people that's in the bazaar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to know what to look for to see him. You got to be like, this is what George Harrison looked like in 1978. I'm looking for that guy.
Yeah. So she was in. Yeah, she was in Life of Brian. What was after Life of Brian? Was that Meaning of
the
Life?
main movie? That was Meaning of Life that came after that.
Yeah, she was in that too.
She unfortunately was, I don't think, one of the naked or the topless women chasing Graham Chapman in The Meaning of Life at one point.
Oh yeah. So anyway,
I got a news story.
go ahead.
I posted Jamie Lee Curtis is gonna be for the next Halloween movie.
Yay!
So that's another one. I'm like,
Here's the thing. I talked to this guy, a friend of mine who I met during jury duty. He recommended all the.
Wait, you were on a jury? Or did they not let you on the
Innocent
jury?
man is
They did
frying
not
right
let me
now.
on.
Oh, that's a shame. What kind of trial was it?
Smoking trial.
Smoking trial.
Yeah, someone was in the hospital because they smoked and they were suing the cigarette company.
Oh, that's not even a good trial. I was like hoping you were on like a murder trial or something. Like, dude, if I'm gonna crime, I'm gonna fucking kill somebody in Florida.
I'm so glad you don't live around me.
Want that fucking on my.
Anyway, I was talking to my friend about the Halloween movies because he watches a lot more movies than I do.
Does he actually watch them though?
Oh, good grief! Just keep going, Eddie. Don't stop.
And
Believe
he was telling me about the Halloween movies. He's like, you gotta watch the second one, and I told him that I watched 20 years later, or at least I've seen part of it because it's always on TV. It was, and he just kept telling me that about the all the sequels because I've only seen the original and the second remake from Rob Zombie. That's it.
Now, did you say? I thought you said you posted that. I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was on the Facebook page a couple days ago.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought I meant right now. Next item up for bids. Does anyone give a crap about The Watchmen? If it, whatever that is, a TV show or
No.
Yeah.
No.
I saw the movie.
I gave a 4.5 to the movie.
I give it about 3, I guess.
2.
My one problem, it's too long.
It is too long. It's like there's too much going on, and it's like they should have just tried to find a complete story, and then if they could continue later.
I mean, I wouldn't brag about that too much if it was like King Kong 2005 or Lord of the Rings 3, where it's like a big epic.
King Kong 2005 sucked.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Well,
I love the original, and I love that one, and I love Kong Skull Island.
I'll give you 2 out of 3.
ain't bad. I think there's a song.
Yeah, that's a Meatloaf. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Because he would do anything for love.
Buddy, won't do that.
I'll do anything for love.
But please don't do that.
Yeah, please don't. Do that. For those of you listening, the complete Monty Python's Flying Circus box set can be had on DVD for only $200.
Wait, what box set?
The Monty Python's Flying Circus.
What's that? What, 40
No
episodes?
thanks.
45?
45 episodes, and I think it comes with like Live at the Hollywood Bowl and something else. I bought this exact box set off of Amazon for $40 7 years ago.
Wow.
Speaking of box sets, I pre-ordered the Chucky Complete 7 film collection, and it's coming with a poster of Cult of Chucky signed by the director and creator of Chucky, Don Mancini.
They made 7 of them?
Well, the 7th
Unfortunately.
one's coming out October 3rd. I said this. It's gonna be better than Curse. I promise you.
I couldn't get past the trailer.
I posted the trailer.
I was like, a doll chases people. Ugh, whatever.
Andy Barclay's back.
There's
And
a
he's
Monty
back in
Python and the
town.
whole. There's a Monty Python the Holy Grail 40th Anniversary Edition Blu-ray on Amazon. I might have.
Monty
That's from
Python
several
Holy
years
Grail, how much
Yeah.
is it? You know what? Never mind. I'm just getting the DVD.
Is it 72? 74. When did they come out with the movie?
It was 75.
75?
No, let me see. Oh wait, dang it! I don't have it.
Because I've got the 30th edition DVD, I think. I don't know. I got a lot of Monty Python stuff. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
This does not surprise me.
Got Father Ted. I like that show too. I like a lot of British.
Dion mentioned in the show, "Romancing the Stone" and "The Jewel of the Nile." I'm gonna add that to my marathon for March. The treasure hunting marathon. I'm gonna have a bunch of treasure hunting movies, and for films I haven't seen, leading up to the new Tomb Raider.
Cool.
Yeah, you see, I like to plan marathons.
Apparently, you're like, yeah, good for you. You can watch them all and then go in and see the new one or something.
When's that fantasy sword fighting marathon you're gonna be doing?
November.
So you're gonna have a sword fighting marathon in November?
Yep.
Okay. I look forward to
You
hearing
wanna
about
come?
that. Nope. Sword fighting ain't my thing.
I thought you liquid metal.
I don't like getting beaten.
How about you, Brian?
Nah.
No, wait, you're older, so you'll beat me.
Yeah, he will. He's Brian won't tell you this, but he used to be an extraordinary sword fighter.
Oh, good grief.
What was this, like 1400s or something?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
easily. He was.
See, nowadays,
he,
my old age, I just shadow fight.
he was a master swordsman, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
What happened? Became the wizard.
I
He
moved.
was a swash.
I had
he
to
was
put
a
the sword
swashbuckler.
down and went on to debates.
Yeah, he was a swashbuckler of the high seas of Lake Erie.
Erie. Northern Ohio. It was the scourge of the river.
I bet you were, big boy.
So, speaking of scourges, I hope this rumor is true, and I'm going to laugh even harder if it is. Inhumans canceled before airing.
Yeah, I think it is true because I didn't see it on the at least I don't think I saw it on the Comcast thing where like I press guide and then you check to see what's playing. But then again, I wasn't watching anything that day. I was at church.
But yeah,
So
Well-
whatever.
We got
Yeah.
that story about 5 minutes before we started broadcasting and recording. Like literally, Jeff got like some kind of news beat that popped up, and he's like, "I've got something extra for the news." He goes, "It's about Marvels and Humans," and we're like, "All right, well, just give it to us whenever we get in there," because we already had everything. We had all the stuff for the show already planned out, and it was like it's go time. Let's just do this shit. And so our reactions to it being supposedly canceled was legit, and like I looked it up, and you would get like 10 different news stories, and they were like 7 of them were that the show is canceled, and 3 of them were like, this doesn't necessarily mean the show is canceled. So it's a pretty good chance that it probably is.
yeah. And who cares? I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I like. But I'm not going to see Cloak and Dagger or Inhumans.
I have no desire to watch Inhumans. At no point did I ever see that. It was like, oh my god, that's going to be awesome. I want to watch that. I was just like, meh.
Medusa's hair was, I said Medea.
Medea.
Medusa's hair.
Ah, it's Medea! Oh, Lord! Back to Leslie Jones and her butt sex.
Oh dear God!
No. No, but Medusa's hair in the previews looked terrible.
Bring back the X-Men.
Yeah.
No. Here's a news story about X-Men. I just heard. Fox CEO said we might reboot Wolverine soon.
Oh, there's
Damn
a
it!
shock.
Well,
Damn
they
it,
gotta
that's it,
they
I
gotta
give up.
pull something out that'll actually they think they'll sell. Wolverine is like the captain, major popular character in that fucking franchise, so they can do something.
Ah! What?
I can hear Liquid Metal Pro's frustration, dude. I feel you, bro. I feel you.
Ah!
Oh,
Fuck!
I don't want this. Leave Wolverine alone.
No, come on. Logan was really a nice way to finally like give some closure to the character and maybe give us a little break from him.
it
the
was
fuck?
10 years at least.
What happened?
10 years at least.
Fuck it. I'm not gonna say anything else. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Wow, for once he doesn't want to talk.
All right, let me take a timestamp of that. That was at 1:19:28.
What's that audio? Let's save that. When he's like starts going on one of his, if I could just have a minute to like make a point here, and then it's like 15 minutes later, it's like hey, and just play that sound over. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. It's like
Sing the Ricky Rolled song. Never gonna get.
the Ricky rolled song.
That's what I call it.
Oh, okay.
You've been Rick rolled, sir.
Yeah,
Ricky
exactly.
Roll,
That's why
baby.
I call it that. That's why I call it the Ricky Rolled song.
You've been Rick and rolled.
And it's Rick
I hate
Astley,
getting
the
rich
artist.
Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up is the song.
Never gonna give you
Never gonna let you down. We're gonna run around and desert
We're gonna
you.
have that
All right,
Leslie Jones booty.
up.
Okay, I
Don't
gotta
sing too
stop.
much. We'll get a.
I
We'll
gotta
get.
stop before we get a copyright strike.
Yeah, no, that's what I just said. We're gonna have that Leslie Jones booty.
Hey, that at least it means somebody's listening, right?
That's true. At least we got somebody listening. They're like, them motherfuckers, they're using copyrighted material to grow their brand. Okay. All right, what's next up there, Captain Lape?
Captain Lape. All right. Star Wars.
Oh,
We do
Captain,
have
my
some more
Captain.
Star Wars stuff. So we have the Han Solo clusterfuck coming, and it's been confirmed that somewhere, somehow, some way, Darth Vader is going to make an appearance.
Yeah, I was the one who shared this. Right when I saw that, I was like, I gotta share this right now. And when I heard about that, when I read that title, when I read that article, I was like, no, 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 1,000 times no. I am not seeing the movie. I don't care how much I like Alden Ehrenreich as the casting for a young Han Solo, because I think he's pretty cool, and I like Hail Caesar, but I don't want to see that. Well,
Well-
no, can't do it. No, no,
You know,
no.
just because he's in the movie doesn't necessarily mean they're going to have an interaction either. You know, he could be, because Solo takes place in the time of the Empire, and it'll be
But the movie
interesting.
idea still sounds stupid.
It is, but look what they did for Rogue One. You know, they gave us a trailer that had Vader in it, and people went bonkers. And Vader's in it for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes total, 5 minutes, because he does speak. It's more than just that scene at the end. And what do I see all the time online, YouTube and everywhere? Oh, we got to see his castle. Oh, we got to see this. It's like, look, they've redone the canon. That none of this is supposed to have happened. I feel like, you know, they're just piece by piece, they're rebooting everything about Star Wars. And, you know, I don't know. He was, if I remember the original canon correctly, I think Solo was a member of the Imperial Navy, which is why he has the pants. And I've talked about this before, the blue pants with the red stripe. And then he either leaves it for one reason or another, becomes a smuggler. I don't remember. Maybe I had to get the books out and reread them, because they kind of go over some of this. But the old books, not the new books, obviously. And so I can understand if in that setting, but I don't think we're going to get a birth to, 20-year-old. We're just going to get a 20-year-old Solo. But I could understand something in passing with Vader, and he's only in it for a minute and a half. But if he's on a Star Destroyer, and where's that ship going, or whatever, because he does the setup for the backstory that we have, why Jabba the Hutt's chasing him, is the Empire boards him, and he dumps the spice before he gets boarded. So I could see that. But to me, this is just, they knew, hey, they really liked him in Rogue One. We got to put him in, and we'll put him in the Ben Kenobi movie too someday. And when we get the Aunt Beru movie, we'll put him in there somewhere. And then when we get the...
Is that a thing?
No.
The Aunt Beru movie.
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do it.
I really hope they do put him in the Ben Kenobi movie. I really do. I really hope there's a young Obi-Wan movie, and Obi-Wan's like doing something, and Darth Vader shows up that way, because I think that'll finally... That's the part you see wrong with my scenario here?
I didn't hear what he said.
I said,
He said
I said it better be Ian McGregor.
Ewan McGregor. But if it's not Ewan McGregor, Darth Vader showing up as Darth Vader in an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, your main complaint would be that it's not Ewan McGregor.
I like him as Obi-Wan.
And that's not the point. The point is, Darth Vader doesn't belong in a young Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, because we've seen...
Oh yeah, that's no. I'm just thinking, if they ever do make a young Obi-Wan movie, I'm just the first thing I'll be like, if it's not Ian McGregor, then no, I'm not even seeing it. So and even if they put Darth Vader in the movie, I'm still like, no, I'm not seeing it. Either way, I'm not seeing it.
I hope Darth Vader is in the young Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. Maybe then people will get it. Maybe then it'll finally hit them that, hey, wait a second, they consider us walking ATMs.
Yeah. In some ways, I think people are getting it, but they just don't want to admit it. Because there was...
Brian.
Go ahead.
You saw that? Remember the video I shared?
Which...
the guy who complained of the signing petition of the J.J. Abrams thing?
Yeah, the Greedo, whatever, Greedo something is the guy's handle on YouTube.
No, his name's Robert Storms. He's a friend of mine.
Oh, I thought about the video. There's a video of the guy with the stormtrooper helmets on.
No,
oh.
I don't remember that.
Okay. Well, maybe I don't remember, but anyway, go ahead.
No, I'm just thinking, I signed the petition to J.J. Abrams get him off Episode 9 because I don't want to see another Return of the Jedi.
Well, I think we're going to get Return of the Jedi 2.0 no matter who's, because I really think they're being very sheepish and very hush-hush about, I mean, we don't have a trailer. This was Dion's point, too. And I agree that by this time, for Episode 1 or Episode 2, or even Empire Strikes Back, we had trailers. 3 months out.
No, I know when the next one's supposed to be. Mark Hamill said it's supposed to be in October, around the time Blade Runner comes out.
Yeah, well, no, he talked about a Monday Night Football one this coming Monday.
Yeah.
And but by now for the Force Awakens, we had 2 full trailers, and then we got a Monday Night Football, the final longer trailer, and we had lots of little snippets and all kinds of stuff. And this time we ain't got nothing. And
I'll keep my eyes peeled.
Right, I'm beginning to wonder, because of reshoots and other things, if they're editing this thing, chopping the hell out of it, so it's not an Empire.
Well, here's another news I just read today. The post-production is just finished.
Yeah. So I think that's part of it, is they were messing, because people will still, there are people who will still say that The Force Awakens is not a reboot, not a remake, not a reshoot, not anything. It has callbacks to Episode 4, but it's not Episode 4. I think we're going to get Episode 4, Empire and Jedi, no matter who's the director, because Kathleen is in charge, and all she wants to do is rewrite and destroy George Lucas's legacy.
Funny thing is, she's also a producer on other movies I like the Tom Cruise remake of War of the Worlds.
Yeah, which wasn't good either. So but that's just because I think it's just something she's been waiting all her life to do, and so that's why I think this is why we're getting directors fired. They weren't playing ball. Now, the Gareth Edwards getting canned, I think that was because the Disney execs didn't like how violent he made that movie. Because I think
the funny thing is, he's one of my up and coming favorite directors. He's got 3 great films: Monsters, Godzilla, and Rogue One. Even the only thing I can say about Rogue One is, like you said, it's unnecessary.
Yeah, but anyway. So with Jar, I signed the petition, and Jar Jar running it, I don't think matters, and it's I don't think it matters who's going to be directing that. It's going to be a Jedi rehash. They may set up the next trilogy with it, whether it'll be Rey. The problem is it won't be a whole lot of time. So it's tough to do a Rey as the mentor, especially unless they take 5 or 6 years off and let her at least get to her 30s. But I think we're just gonna. It's. I wouldn't be surprised if the next trilogy is some kind of rebootish thing with the prequels. But a backstory of why Kylo Ren is the way he is.
Kylo.
I don't want to see that.
No one would, but again, we're in a minority at the moment, but I do see more and more people waking up to it. And a lot of it is ego. A lot of it are people are like, they're very reluctant to admit that these naysayers were right and they were wrong. But I am slowly starting to encounter more and more people that say, it's just a rewrite, a rehash. I mean, even when it was out, I had people saying, "Oh, but JJ had to do that," and I'm like, "No, he didn't. No one had to reboot Star Wars. We didn't have to revitalize the franchise. The prequels did not.
We didn't have to sell it to Disney.
Right. The prequels did not suck all the life out of it to the point where we had to reboot it. There was not
I actually
franchise
like
fatigue. There was just a long gap where we had nothing. And that's, I think, the hype that built among fans once it was announced that there was actually going to be another one post Star Wars, post Disney sale, shows that the fatigue, there was no franchise fatigue. Like we had Star Trek, part of why they rebooted it after they stopped the movies with the Next Generation cast was this so-called fatigue, and then like 2 years later they tried to reboot it and it didn't work. Stargate did have fatigue by the time we got to Atlantis, and then near the end of Atlantis, and they did Star Trek. Was it Universe or Star Trek? Stargate Universe. Yeah, it was getting long in the tooth, and those things got canceled. There's been talk of a Stargate reboot. There's been talk of a Babylon 5 reboot. There's been talk of doing yet another reboot of Battlestar Galactica, and it's just like reboots and sequels. And George was right when he said this with Charlie Rose. That's all big Hollywood is interested in. There's lots of ideas floating around that town, but if it's not a reboot or a sequel, they don't give a crap. And till these fail, and it's probably going to take multiple financial failures, they're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So people that complain that it's all they do is this, and they still go and see the movies, and they still buy the merchandise, well, you're just feeding the
You're the
monster.
problem, dickhead.
You are the problem.
Do you guys see that original film that I sent you earlier this year? It came out in April. Colossal, Fan Halfway.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh. It's
Wow.
where it's about Anne Hathaway's character. She's a drunk and she moves back to her hometown, and every time she walks into the park in her hometown, she out in a area of Korea, she is a giant monster that she controls.
I have to check it out.
Does she get naked?
I wish.
Then I don't care. All
She
right,
was
what's next
only
up?
topless in like one movie, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Loving up drugs.
Yeah.
No, she was topless in Brokeback Mountain. That's how she lost her Disney contract.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I
And
didn't
then
care to see Cat
Either did
Stevens.
I. No, I didn't see the movie. I heard about it, so I went to Mr. Skin and I saw the screenshots. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
I used to
went
love
to
Anne
Pornhub.
Hathaway. All right, what's next?
So it's come out.
About it.
People have seen it. I think
Yeah, it's
Eddie has
great.
been scratching his nuts waiting to talk about it.
That's my Chucky laugh.
So go for it, Eddie. Tell us what you think. Or you haven't, because I haven't seen it, so I don't have an opinion.
Oh, you
Great,
haven't
go
seen
see it, Brian. Go see it, Brian.
Brian. I think you'll really like it.
Go see
I
it.
was
tomorrow.
hesitant to see it because I like Tim Curry as Pennywise. What the?
Liquid Metal
Don't
Pro
talk
hasn't
to-
figured out how to use the chat inside of Skype, so he sends us messages on Facebook.
Oh, yeah,
So
I
what
thought
you're-
that was my fault.
You're hearing my phone go off because my wife has actually also been texting me back and forth. So, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I was hesitant to see it because I like Tim Curry as Pennywise. I think he's a great actor. But my friend wanted to see it, and he works at a theater, so I got to go see it yesterday night with him, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the child actors were amazing, and it just reminded me of how dated I think the two-part miniseries movie looks. I mean, I remember when I first saw it on TV, and every time I do see it, I'm like, man, I don't want to sit through 4 hours because it looks so cheap. But this had a higher budget, and when I saw the end of the movie, I was taken back to the end of the first part, and I thought that the end of this particular remake was much more satisfying. And the clown, it terrified me. It terrified me. It gave me Freddy Krueger flashbacks because he's the entity of fear, and was I scared. I can't say much about the atmosphere except for like every time Pennywise was on screen, I felt his presence even when he was off screen. So yeah, I gave it a 4.5. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I do miss Tim Curry because I do like him as an actor, but I think yes, Bill Skarsgård, the guy who played Pennywise, yeah, I liked him a lot, and the kids.
All right, sounds good. So, that is all the topics I have that we went over before.
Wait, can we I sent Kendo an email and I pitched this idea. Do you want to play Shit Eddie Hasn't Seen?
No.
Aw.
This is a show. This is that, and this is a show about the show.
So, but I'll give you a moment to plug what reviews you've got coming up in a minute.
Yes, that is okay.
So you can tell us what things you're doing, what reviews you got going, and how to find your reviews and all that. But first, if there are no other topics relative to pooping on entertainment, that means that we have reached the part of the show where we get to understand who the BBC of the week is.
You don't want any other behind-the-scenes shit like what we're doing for like Patreon and all that crap?
Well, that's why I asked if there was anything else.
That's part of
Buy a t-shirt.
that's not.
Join the Patreon. Unfortunately, I can't, but you better. Come on, join it. Join
All right.
it. Join it.
All right, I'll take a step backwards. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's see. For the Patreon, we got Schlocktoberfest coming up, and it's coming up thick and fucking fast, people. October's 9 days away. So we've done a couple more commentaries. I think we are up to like 6. We're gonna have a couple other things for Schlocktoberfest. It's not just necessarily commentaries. I've got a couple of ideas bouncing around in the old noggin that I'm gonna pitch to old Jeff Ray, because I talk to the man every day. We're like colleagues now. It's cool. Yeah, so we're gonna. I got a couple things. I'll just tell you. I was thinking about pitching like the idea of us having like a round table for Schlocktoberfest, like the top 5 horror films for each of us, top 5 worst horror films for each of us, something to do like that, and then maybe like each week like release, because we're not doing 31 days. That is just way too taxing. Maybe once that Patreon hits a higher number to where this is actually our job, we can actually devote time to that. Other than that, like we got some other stuff coming up for the channel. Some ideas. We got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe for the Patreon. Suicide Squad is the next movie we're going to torture ourselves with. Oh boy. And but we're also going to watch some good ones for the Patreon. The It Roundtable discussion went out the other day to everybody that was at just the $1 level. A lot of our stuff, like some things are at the $1 level. Like there's some other perks out there that are at the higher level. So folks, if you're at those higher levels where you get to be on a select commentary or something along those lines, let us know which one you'd like to be on. Eric Ward, he is one of our listeners of the Fan Caste and of World Class Bullshitters. He's at, I don't remember what $1 level he is, but he gets to be on commentary, and he selected to do part of the James Bond stuff. So once we start recording the Bond movies and doing that, Eric Ward he gets to pick. He wants to pick which movies he's on. I guess he's gonna pick the ones that he likes the best. I don't know. All I know is he will be on a couple of the James Bond commentaries that we're doing, and I'm not sure. Brian, are you at a commentary level?
That's what I'm looking to see when that comes in. I'm at the $10 a month level.
Question.
Well, if you're at the commentary level and you're talking about Top Gun, I'll put you on that. Yes, Eddie.
I heard something about a James Bond top list. Like your favorite James Bond movies from all of you on the commentary who are going to be there?
We're going to do commentaries for every James Bond movie, all 24 that are currently out.
I'm just hoping to find out which ones are your favorites, so I can because I'm going to try and get the James Bond box set with all of them, even though I already have The World Is Not Enough and GoldenEye.
Then you will get whatever one happens to be our favorites if you own the box set.
Yeah, I'm just hoping. I just hope. On the commentary you say which ones. I'm just curious to know.
I'm sure that will come out
Okay.
of the closet. So we got that going on. It's busy. We're up to 5,400 subscribers now. We hit our 50th patron the other day, so that's good news. Channel's gonna grow. Movie next year. All sorts of great shit. It's gonna be a fun ride. And Nick wasn't on the show this week or last week. He is busy with that with Frankenthug.
Yep.
So
Nick is out making movies. So these guys are putting their money where their mouth. They're not just complaining.
Yeah, we're not talking shit, dude. We are not a bunch of fuckhouses going out there complaining about stuff. We are
trying to change.
We're doing shit. So Frankenthug, get your pre-orders for Frankenthug in, and I know they're having a pre-order party on Facebook Live on October 7th, and I think as long as you pre-order Frankenthug, you have to be part of that Facebook party. I'm not 100% positive if Nick is going to hear this, which I hope will, but he's a busy man. Jeff will hear it, so he'll be able to fucking correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, Frankenthug pre-party, pre-order party. Order Frankenthug, fuckheads.
So is that ordering the DVD? Is that what that is?
Blu-ray. They do it on right. Blu-rays are harder to pirate.
Oh, okay.
So that's why if you see like all these indie films, they usually come out on Blu-ray format. There's a reason.
So
it's harder to jack a Blu-ray.
It is on October 7th at 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So
I will be there. My Frankenthug pre-order has not gone in yet, but it will this week. I've been very busy with working on being relocated down to Camp Kendo and getting everything ready for when I get back down there to Civilization.
So how do we do a pre-order?
I'm sure you could just look up. It's a Buck Short production, so you could just look.
Yeah. I know it was Buck something. I keep thinking Buck Snort, which is in Tennessee.
Yeah, if you go to a Buck Short Productions, I think you can pre-order it from that website. Let's see, buckshortproductions.com. I'm pulling up right now. Buck Short. I mean, it doesn't say anything on there about it.
Because they're still making that, aren't they? Isn't that what? Or is Nick working on something else?
I think they're in post-production right now. I'm not positive, though. Don't hold me to that one.
Well,
either way.
If you do... Oh, that's Buckshot Productions. I was like, oh, shit. That's funny. Yeah. There's a Gay Hot Movies from Buckshot Productions. Buck Short. All right. I'll have to find it. I'll find it and put it in the link. I'll put it in the description. Yeah, because that was a mistake I made with Strip Club Massacre. I bought it after the fact, but people who pre-ordered and other things got some other perks and autographs and stuff. So, but I tell you this, if I ever go to a convention or anything where Danielle is at, I'm gonna break the seal on that thing and have her sign it.
I thought you were talking about breaking the seal on her.
No. She's like 4 months older than my daughter, so don't go there.
So? What? Is your daughter older than 18?
Yes.
Then what's the problem? There you go. That link right there is straight to a Buck Short Productions store. So you can Frankenthug DVD pre-order available until 9/10/17, which is past for $12. I'm sure you can still do it.
Well, I thought the pre-order was what the event was for.
I think it is. I think you can still pre-order it. It's just more than 50. I don't know. I just hit pre-order buy now and it came up for being $12. I don't think it matters. Just fucking buy the movie, people.
I will definitely, and I will put the link in here so you can
support
buy it.
Nick.
This synopsis is hilarious.
You listen to the fucking guy each week entertain you, and he's trying to make it as a fucking film guy. Fucking help him out, you fucking hollow pricks.
You want to read that, Lego Metal Pro?
Yeah, sure. Why not? All right, so what are we looking at? So Frankenthug.
Yeah.
Thoughts, thugs, and THC. It's just another day in the hood until a new gang rolls into town and shoots up the wrong G. Now, after a botched science experiment, a Frankenthug has risen to wreak havoc on the ones that killed him and anyone that gets in his way. That alone Sounds like
It's-
something I would pay for. The price of
It
admission.
sells the fucking movie. I know.
Yeah.
That sounds like something I would like to review.
Well, there you go. $12, and you can review it when it's available.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
They will be doing the premiere of it. I plan on going at some point. I mean, I will do everything I can to get to the premiere of said movie.
Is that going to be in Hotlanta again, or do we not know it?
I have a
As far as I know, it's going to be in Hotlanta, but I'd have to talk to my buddy Nick again to find out for sure.
Yeah.
hopefully if I'm 21 by the time you can give me a ride.
Why would I drive all the way to Florida, then turn around and backtrack to Atlanta?
Good point.
Yeah, that's not. You're not on his way.
Yeah, if you're already 20, almost 21 years old, why don't you just drive there yourself?
I don't have a license.
You can buy, I don't know, there's like bus tickets and shit like that you could probably do. Just an idea.
Planes. There's planes that fly from Miami to Atlanta all the time.
So, alrighty.
Or take Oro Express.
Yeah, take the Greyhound. Get yourself a life experience.
Leave the driving to them.
Yeah.
So,
The
or
bus thing.
what's the other one? The big bus or the mega bus?
Short bus.
Mega Bus is one.
Yeah.
Magic bus. You're thinking of Magic Bus. Or no,
There's some mega bus around
it's
here.
Mega Bus here. There's Mega Bus here.
Oh.
It's Magic Bus on the other side of the ocean.
Something called Bolt also.
Yeah, there's
I've
another
taken
one.
bus to college a bunch of times.
Amtrak.
Oh, Amtrak. Yeah, I don't know if they would go to. I don't know if they go to Atlanta or not. They don't come to. Well, they come to Cincinnati at like 2:00 in the morning. It's actually crazy. You can get a train from here to Chicago, but you can't get one back unless you like. I think it goes. It's a loop. It like goes from here to Chicago to St. Louis or Denver, then St. Louis, and then back to Cincinnati. But you can't come directly back.
That's because there's a good chance if you go to Chicago, you're just going to get shot, so you don't need a train.
Yeah, there is that. That's the end of the line. More ways than one. So, all righty. Any other topics we want to discuss before we start winding this thing down?
Buy a goddamn t-shirt on incarnate-studios.com. Talk to the show at worldclassbs@mail.com. That's the best mail.
.com.
Join the Facebook pages. They're really great. You already know that if you're listening to the Fan Caste, because you probably came here from WCBS. We got a lot of cool shit planned here at the main show. Support the Fan Caste. That's about it.
And don't forget to tweet Yeezy is a bitch.
Yeah, if you could tweet at Kanye West or whatever his name, Yeezy is a bitch, #WCBS, we will greatly appreciate that.
I actually had to look that up. I thought you guys were saying easy. And then
Yeezy.
Yeah,
Because he calls him. That's what he called himself, like Yeezus or some shit.
Right. So anyway.
So tweet it right now at Kanye West. Yeezy is a bitch, #WCBS.
Are we doing it? Okay. I just did the #Yeezy and then.
No, you got to tweet it at Yeezy or else he won't see it.
Okay.
God, you're fucking simple.
I'm old. I don't know what you youngsters are doing. All right, now
all the tweeters.
All the tweeters.
Tweeters.
Okay, so now can we do the BBC?
Yeah. The BBC this week is Jessica Simpson. Yeah, sure, why not? Jessica Simpson.
That's the images I've been looking for, so hopefully that's right.
She used to be really attractive and had big old.
Is that her right there?
She also claimed to have been a virgin. She married Nick Lachey. I doubt it because women lie. There you go.
Now that picture is Carol Cleveland. Yeah, and there's a restaurant here in Cincinnati called Lachey's that his brother runs. And every once in a while, Nick is in there. And
he's from there,
and he's pretty short.
He's from there.
Yes, yeah,
he's not a big dude. He is not. He looked fucking yoked out on that fucking show he did with her, but only because Jessica Simpson is also not real big either.
Right. She's like 5'2" or something.
Yeah, so he looked like fucking big and yoked out, and he's only like 5'6" and maybe 140 pounds.
Yeah, and his brother's short. I forget his brother's name.
Rick Lachey.
Yeah, Rick. Yeah. And but it's a nice little. It's kind of like a bar. They have a really good selection of the local craft beers, It's right down the half a block from the streetcar stop, right there on 12th Street. It's pretty nice. I've been there several times, and it's an interesting little cross section of Cincinnati's growing hipster life. So, Mr. Eddie, kind of give us a brief, let's say your top 5 next movies that you're going to be reviewing, and where we can find your reviews.
All right. Well, right now we are in September, which means right now I'm trying to catch up the films I have seen that I missed from earlier this year, so I can hopefully make my top 10 best and worst of the year. Starting Monday, I will hopefully review Rough Night, The Fate of the Furious, The Emoji Movie, Fist Fight, and Transformers: The Last Night.
Okay, I wasn't gonna say anything, but why the Emoji Movie?
Like I said, I'm trying to look for my best and worst of the best and worst of the year.
You should avoid that one like man.
I'm the fanboy critic. I watch everything.
All right, your funeral.
Yes. So I've seen a lot.
Uh-oh.
We lost him. That's a shame.
All right.
Yeah, he's lost an internet black
Eddie,
hole.
can you hear us? I guess
No, he's dead.
All right. Well, unless he comes back, we'll find out what his link is. We'll put it in the description below. I don't have any other parts. So if this has been episode 15 of the Fan Caste, where we meet each week to discuss what they discuss and give our opinions and other things. And he's gone officially. So I have been your host, and I keep forgetting to introduce myself, but I've been your host, or whatever, game show host, Brian Lape, also known as Brain Muffin. You can find me on YouTube as well, and we'll put the customary links. I've gotten some requests to do some beer reviews with other people, so we're trying to figure out how to do the logistics. With me tonight, Eddie was here and he's gone. We have had from the big show, Kendo Slice.
I really, really could go for a couple of bags of chips right now. So I'm dressed all over in zesty Mordant.
And closing us out and saying goodnight, Liquid Metal Pro.
Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, for the last fucking time, cartoon frogs can't be racist.
Hey, Pepe!
Au revoir!